Welcome to the Body Matters class. We're going to start off with some moving. So I selected the song. It takes about 9 minutes or so it's quite a long one, so to speak. But we use it as a warming up for this session, the quantum body. So I'm going to engage this quantum body a little bit before we sit still on our chair. So I hope that you're able to do that right now, and yeah, we'll see after that how we are doing. So if okay, so that was lovely. I loved it to move around a little bit. So I hope you enjoy that too. So it's always see, don't try to analyze what's going on. No, you just have your own experience here. So, and that is, yeah, no matter what anyone else is doing, you can just stay right here in yourself, so to speak. You can stay with your attention to yourself. So that was a possibility, you know, so that was a possibility to become aware of what happens when you move around, and maybe a bit unexpected that you suddenly had to stand up and do this. So this is what it is. It's like, okay, that's fine, the way things change and the way things go. They don't have to, say, throw you off in any kind of way. So anyway, that was our start, and I don't need to explain anything about it. I just did, but anyway, that's all right. So today the quantum body we have as a title, and that's really interesting how that process was for me to prepare this. So because it is like I've read much about it. I've listened to all kinds of people talking about it, about neuroscience, about say the whole idea of having to deal with a quantum body instead of a physical body. You know, the quantum body is then, okay, it's particles, subatomic particles. It's about all of that. It's a different description. So what happened to me while I was preparing this, it's in the last week, it was this that happened to me. So I have some books that will tell me about this, about the quantum body, about having another description of how you can look at the body in order for you to receive a different idea about it. And that's all great, and you should definitely go for it and study it if you feel like doing that. But this is what happened with me. It's like, oh, here's another description of the body. It's like, well, that's another thing that I think I can use to wake up. You see, and there it stopped for me a little bit. So I was reading some books, and they really try to tell you about how this works in the awakening when you have your physical experience of yourself and see that your idea about yourself can change. I totally agree with that. But then suddenly there's like, as if it's that you have the possibility of coming to know who you are through all this intellectual knowledge, so to speak. And this is where I couldn't continue to read it. And I'd like, well, this is great that I get to this point, because I actually start to realize that it does not work that way. I will not be able to get out of my limited ideas with my brain, with my intellect. That is not what is going to happen. And if I was able to do that, I would already have done that. You know, then I would know that it worked, and I would tell everyone to do the same. But that's not what I do. So I have to come back to my own experience, and you have to come back to your experience. Like, what is it that you are experiencing? To live with an idea that you're waking up to the reality of who you are is an amazing thing in which you let go of your descriptions of yourself. So whether I have a Newtonian body or whether I have a quantum body, well, in the description of that, that's not going to help me to get out of this whole idea of limitation, if you know what I'm saying. So and that's why I need to have this talk, why I need to share this with you, because of my own experience with it. Like, it is a total, say, discovery, to discover that the body of itself is nothing. You have identified with it, you have done all kinds of things with it, you have, say, valued in all different ways. You're using it to misidentify for some time. But now there's you come to the point where you actually start to have a new vision come to you in all ways, and not just limited to the body, or not limited to your idea about yourself. No, it's like an all-encompassing, all-inclusive new vision that comes to you. And like I said, it comes to you. So it comes to you. It is not that you have to come up with it yourself. By, okay, if I have the right definition of it, then I will realize it. Like, that's not at all how it works. So that would be another, say, that would be a very gratifying idea for your ego mind. But that's just not how it will work. And you know this too. But it's good to realize it and be aware of it, that before you know it, you start to think that the solution will come by your intellect and thinking, if you know the right things and you can analyze yourself in the right way, that you will wake up. See, and that's where you get stuck, in fact. So it is quite something to undergo the undoing of what you think you are. So it is mostly like an ego deflating activity. And if you identify with the ego, it's going to be painful for you, because you think that something has been taken away from you. So that's why this is taking time. This whole awakening is taking time, because of the misidentification and also the habitual continuation of it. All right. So we're sinking in this. Can you feel that the energy is already changing again? It's like maybe we all should breathe for a moment, so that the energy can sink in a little bit. Yeah, that's great. So one more, and then I think we're good. So you want to go down with that energy. So you don't, also with your breathing, try to breathe as deep as possible for yourself, like deep into your belly. That will help you to release tension and all that. So why do I suddenly come up with this? And it's just something that I feel that I need to share, and going through, allowing that change for myself to occur. See, that's the great thing about coming together and meeting in this place where we actually are, say, where the borders between us are starting to dissolve. So it's like, I don't distinguish really between you and me. So it's like your presence is just as valuable as mine, and you're actually allowing me to share this with you. So you allow me to share this, and because you're able to hear it, that's always so great. So I just want to say, emphasize the togetherness in this. This is not a separate idea. So in that sense, it fits the quantum idea of not having any limitation in terms of form, but actually seeing that there's just energy. It's not limited, it's not defined in form. No, it's a flow of energy. The same as what people would think first of in the early days, or maybe even now still, that the sun will burn up at a certain point. Like the sun, because it's burning continuously, it will burn up one day. It might take 250,000 million years, or who knows. And then, see, that was an old description of what happens to the sun. So now new insights show that there's a whole interconnected energy pattern all through the universe that is feeding everything all the time. There's no sense of say, depletion or lack at all. So it's a continuous flow of changing energy from one form into the other, or yeah, like that. So what actually was quantum again? What is quantum again? Well, quantum, the word itself means actually particle, or like part. But then I would love to add to it like a part of the whole. Like it's not definable as a separate part, but it's part of the whole. And so this idea is helpful for us with healing and with connecting with an idea of, okay, so if you put this in a different perspective altogether, you see that there's no, say, no place where you end and where God begins. Like you're in perfect communication with God, and that is happening continuously. That is unchangeable. That is the true nature of you. So now we come back to the idea of body, because this is the body matter class. So what role is the body playing in all of this? And what is this body anyway? So we, in our, when I say we, I actually mean I or you. It's like, actually we use the body in a certain way. Does it have value in itself? No, it does not have value in itself. But see, nothing is in itself. So that's also different. Nothing is of itself, in itself. No, it's all interconnected. It is all part of the whole. So this idea of body is included in your mind, because that's where it was defined in the first place. And you used it for a very specific function. And that was the function of having an identity separate from others. You know, that's where you use the body for. You literally try to put it into a separate form and made it visible to yourself that it is so. So you're actually using it to, at least that is the way that you have used it, to defend yourself against God, thinking that you can be separate of it. And having separate entities around you that have a name, that have a different body, a different shape, and all of that. And, you know, that was the description as you knew yourself not too long ago. So now, with a whole new vision about body and a moment of, say, transformation, physical transformation, physical resurrection idea, we come to a whole different thing. Like all these ideas about body and all these ideas about what the body can do, all these, say, specific characteristics of the body that we have used against ourselves is going to be undone. And literally it's all coming back at itself. So we start to see that healing then of the body is possible just because it is these ideas that we held about it are coming back to us in this different new light that we're entering into, in which it can be healed. So, and that is going step by step. The more you allow that to occur, the more you, say, release the fear for the change, the quicker it can take place. And not that you're in any hurry, but it's like you want to have a vision about your body that is not actually, say, doing anything with the body except letting it be healed, so that you don't have to be concerned with it. Because now it seems to occupy your mind with the characteristic, or with the things that are going on with it, and that you think that are going on with it. that you think that needs attention, or that you want to prevent from something, or you name it. Like, you know self a lot of examples of this. So in order then for this transformation, this physical transformation or resurrection, if you want, to undergo, it is good to be aware that you can let go of these ideas, that you say step by step start to see, oh my God, look at what I did. I'm holding on to these ideas and it doesn't make me feel good. No, it makes me say anxious, or it makes me afraid, or it really, I can continuously worry about my body. But I discovered now that if I stop doing that for just a moment, I actually get a whole different feeling about myself. I feel a relaxation, and actually like, something is shifting and changing. So this is going to be offered like in the meetings that we have, or in the times that we meet together. It's just all about, okay, try to be aware of what you are thinking about it. Try to see all the happenings with it as, okay, there is no world out there that determines anything for me. So also, nobody can tell me anything about this body in that sense, because it's like I don't let anyone tell me who I am. I want to know from the inside, from inward, going inward. I want to discover who I really am. I want that to be revealed to me. And that is why, and that's a big change, that's a 180-degree change. So not letting yourself be defined by anything outside, what appears to be outside yourself, but bringing that closer to this place right here. It's like, no, there's nothing outside of me. This is all about me, in that sense, like me receiving that healing for myself. And in that can the change occur. In that are things undone. In that is suddenly a change possible. But if I keep holding on to an idea that I let myself be defined by so-called people that know, or that have researched it, or have studied for it, or who knows what idea you hold about it, then you trust that, and you get the consequences of it in terms of it brings you fear, because that is connected to the limited perspective of the one that is describing your identity. So letting this going within, and opening up to have a different experience of yourself, is then where the healing can occur. You literally are the one deciding about that. Nobody else can. So it can help to have a chat with someone who seems to be a little bit further ahead, or who is not afraid at that point, and allowing some healing to occur just by you being convinced that that nothing really serious is going to happen when you allow healing to occur. So that is a bit of the perspective that I want to give today, because it is like so tremendous how much information is coming to us if we're open to it. How much information is coming to us that try to define what we are, in what world we live, and what the dangers are connected to this world. So, and that is, wait a minute, stop right there. It's like, no, I remember, I rest in God. No, I'm right here. Like there's literally nothing, nowhere in the world that I'm in danger. I so easily forget about that, because everything screams at me that there's a lot of danger, and everything is trying to convince me that I need to protect myself against all of this. And like, no, wait a minute. Just go back to the basic thing of closing your eyes, going within, and allowing a change to occur. See, if you see this in a different perspective, like let's take another look at the quantum perspective. It is like continuously you're on the edge of a you could say like a black hole. That's a real quantum body, right? It's like a black hole somewhere out there in the stars. You walk around on the edge of it, and having the consequences of cause and effect, of threat and defense, and of white and black, and of you name the differences that you're used to. Suddenly you want to know more, that you start to lose your fear of looking over the edge of this gigantic say hole that's in front of you, and where you're actually totally attracted to, just because you feel that you can allow your world, so to speak, to collapse, to bring together cause and effect, and to allow a change for yourself to occur. It's like not trying to defend it anymore, not trying to fight it anymore, but literally diving right in and entering to a point where you actually see that there's no return back at all. So you literally disappear into that black hole, being, say, transformed into light for a moment, and see that while you are free of all the differences, everything is still you in that sense, but you are in a whole different way present. So this is a description of an experience that actually is right in front of you. Because, it's like I already said, like if I trust the quantum books that I was reading, and seeing that by trying to change your idea about yourself, that you can enter into a different experience of yourself, a totally different experience of yourself, the way it is described is like, well, that is not possible. And so now, seeing that actually, just like I used as example of the black hole, that you have to enter into something, you enter in completely without in fact, there's some kind of surrender that you enter into. You see that by giving up your ideas about good and bad and all the differences and all the polarities that you can possibly come up with, and also seeing that any definition that's given to you from outside yourself, falls into that black hole and is being changed. Like, you come out on the other side of that. You literally come into a whole different experience of yourself where you would not be able to get into. This is in fact the idea that I want to convey, and that's not an idea, but actually it is an experience. So it's like entering into the heart of God as an experience. See, that's not really something to talk about in that sense. It is more like, okay, so how do I get to the end? How do I get over the edge of, the event horizon of this black hole, of this big quantum body that is attracting me? Like, there is something pulling you to an experience of yourself that you know that is there, and that is beyond your imagination, literally. So how do you get as quickly as possible, or how do you get to that? So that is of course the question that you walk around with if you want to see beyond the edge. So, and it's like you're right on time. It's all working out perfectly right now. So you can trust the path that you're on. With the exercises that you do, with the practice that you have, you can trust that that's going to occur. Like, literally, there will be a moment in which you start to feel that you're losing all the fear of entering into the heart of God. And then you recognize, oh my God, it has nothing to do with any idea I had about it. It has nothing to do with something that I did. No, it's literally a whole different experience of who I am in its completedness, in its totality, in its wholeness itself. So why am I telling you this way? I don't know. I don't know. So it comes up this way. Just say, I want to give you everything. That's basically what I try to do. I can read you a book and use the words of Joe Dispenza, or who knows who wrote about it. You know, I can use parts of it to stay in that same story, but that's not what I want to give to you, because what I'm actually offering you is way, say, beyond that in a certain sense. It's like, no, this is based on my own personal experience, and that is entering into that black hole and coming out on the other side and seeing that, oh my God, I have nothing to do with this at all. Like, it was not coming from me whatsoever. No, it was just for me to be willing to enter into that and seeing that the rest is taken from there. It's literally, you can do a couple of steps, and that's being willing for the change and seeing that you need it, like having an urgency for that experience. So that is the only requirement. You're in high expectancy, and that's it. And that's where you stay, so to speak. That's where you bring yourself. And say, God will take the last step. So it's like that will be given to you. You cannot force it. You cannot squeeze it out of something. It's like, no, this is a matter of entering into a temple, entering into, into a prayer, into a tabernacle where this can take place. And then you wait, and then you're open to receive it. See, but this is what I want you to give, just because of the essence of it, like, and also the speed up of time of it. See, it's not necessary to delay this. It is not necessary to keep ourselves busy with classes or with say practicing just for the sake of it. No, this is an invitation to go beyond all of it and not letting yourself be defined by anything. No, you want to have a revelation of who you are. And see, is that going to have an effect on your body? Well, you bet it does. Yes, it has a total effect on your body, because you come in the recognition of your true identity, and the body knows that in that sense, because it's connected to your mind. It is your mind that determines how your body is. So, of course, shifts are taking place. Of course, say there's a whole healing process taking place in your body when you allow that light to come to you. So that is happening right now. So it's not that you have to do something special for it. No, what I was bringing you to is a totality of an experience that is available for you, and that asks of you your willingness to get into it, like I said. And say then the last step is going to be taken by God. So that is great. That can happen when we come together in recognizing this, in having this as a shared purpose. And that is really where the power of God is joining, and the light and love is joining into that. So, and that is also what you already can experience, and that has an effect on you too. Absolutely. So, and it's like, we don't do it to have the body be healed. It's like, no, then you would miss the whole party of entering into the heart of God. Like, no, the body healing is just a side effect of recognizing the truth of who you are. That's why it's good to have that in the right perspective too. Like, and you can be totally happy if your body functions well. It's great. Yeah, wonderful. Absolutely. That's absolutely fantastic. That's great. But that's not the reason why we do this. And you've heard this from Joel, from other teachers, of course. But see, this is like, okay, now it's clear. Oh yeah, let's not lose the the scope of the vision of totality in all of this, because that is such an incredible gift to be able to see it right. So then you also don't get disappointed in the limited perspective that you held for a moment. You cannot be disappointed by that anymore. So the quantum body. See, it is really interesting, because at the start of this series of classes, I really thought like, oh, finally I can bring that in as another aspect of it, and that was, for that moment, it was great, and that I don't want to deny that that's a possibility, but you see that it doesn't stand still. Like, even this whole series of classes is transformative, and that also means that there is no set curriculum. It's not that I'm determining, okay, this is what we speak about in the next couple of weeks. No, I have no idea. I can just not deny my own experience in all of this. No, I want to completely include that in and say, share from there to you, just because of my love for you. That is the basic motivation, and say, inviting you for the recognition of that. That's why this is such a great opportunity to meet with you. So then, okay, well, then we can dance, or we can do whatever we want. That really does not matter. So as an introduction, we didn't do the body metta meditation, but now we danced, and so, hey, either way, it's fine. You can, while dancing, becoming completely, for a moment, completely aware of your body too, and also not stopping there, allowing yourself to go deeper into your experience of yourself. See, that is with this continuously the invitation. Don't think that what you have, that is it. It's like, no, even let that go too. Even your experience is great, wonderful. But there's more. You can always sink deeper into it. Make it open up even more. And seeing that, like, oh, you had no idea. It's always like that. So that's why I say, like, basically I always do a beginner's class, because it's literally like there's more to discover. And that's really up to you by being open for it. And more to discover. And more. That is totally lovely. All right, so I'm really happy that you joined with me in this, and that you were here, and I hope to see you soon. And so in the class we're going to continue with some questions maybe, or you want to share something, or who knows what's going on. I have no idea. So see you soon. Thank you so much.